Hi everyone, this is a slow motion swing of Bryson de Chambeau, and I thought you might be interested in to see things that he does which are different and things that he does which are very, very common amongst the elite players today. See if there's something there that might help you. So let's firstly look at a couple of things that he does differently. Obviously he plays with clubs that are, the irons that are one length. So this is looks like a pitching wedge or a 9-iron at 6 or 7 iron length. His ball position, that's the most obvious thing. He gets the ball quite far back in his stance. If we look at his grip, if I take an extension of his grip, you'll see that his grip is quite weak. So in other words, his left hand is on the side of the club. A weak grip normally promotes a fading motion. You might say that the weak grip counteracts the ball back in his stance that he has. When he swings back, I'll put a little mark on his head and one on his hips. Because of that weak hand position, it takes him a long time before there's any movement in his wrists. It's quite hard to let the left wrist cock when you're holding it that weakly, but they do cock eventually, although not excessively. So you can see at the top of his swing there is still some level of loading of his wrists. What he does see turns very effectively. He doesn't leave the yellow line. His hips are turned nicely on a horizontal axis, and there's no sway. When he comes down, the sequence is the same. His hips go early, and impact with his left arm and the club aligned is something that we all strive for and see with most good players. Going through impact, he's got that long extension with his arms. There's no pulling up, no chicken wing. His club face has closed. And what's more obvious with him is how more delayed his body is when he swings through. So although it's quite a unique approach, and I say he's a student of the golfing machine, which is quite a technical analysis of the golf swing, a lot of the fundamentals are common to most good players. And if I was going to learn something from him, I would be looking not at his grip and not at his backswing, but effectively at how efficiently he rotates his core. His hips turn early, they don't sway, and I say he's got power loaded in both legs, no attempt to transfer his weight from one side to the other, and his hips have turned on a nice horizontal axis. That base allows for many other things that are good in the golf swing to take place. And just so if we just look at a comparison with another player, this is somebody from a different generation. This is Hugh Byoke, and you'll see the similarities are there with him. When he turns, his hips don't sway away from that yellow line too much. They've stayed also on a horizontal axis. When he comes into impact, you'll see his left arm and the club are in line, just like de Chambeau. And when they go through impact, they both get this nice extension of their arms out in front of them. The big difference to see here is that how much more through the shot Byoke is compared to where de Chambeau is. So de Chambeau comes much later with that release, but when they do finish, you'll see the spines are nice and vertical, healthy back positions. And that tells me that de Chambeau is going to be around for a long, long time. I hope you learned something from that. If you need help with your game, please give me a shout.